Hey Queens, welcome or welcome back to my channel and welcome to another instalment of... I probably should have filmed and uploaded this video in December, but here we are in the middle of January instead. And that is my 2025 anticipated releases video. Some of these are like actively, I want to get to them as soon as they come out. I'm super excited for them. I will be pre-ordering them, I will be getting them soon after release. Some of these are next instalments in series that I haven't even started yet, but I'm excited about the series, or I've only read the first in the series but I'm still excited about the next instalment. Books from authors that I just really enjoy, or have read one book from and enjoy, or think I'll really enjoy, and so I'm excited about their next release. Some of them are books that I will be waiting to hear other reviews of before getting myself, but I'm still interested in them. And so it's still included in this video. We have like 69, 68 I think books to talk about. So I'm only going to be talking about January through June because one, like I say, already a lot of books, and two, there'll be a lot of books announced for the second half of the year that aren't announced yet, so I'm only going to talk about the first half of the year. I'm also not going to give too deep synopses on most of these. Like I say, I've got a lot of books to talk about. Some of them I'll literally just be saying this is the next in this series, or this is from this author and that's why I'm interested. Some of them I have a brief idea of the synopsis, some of them I have a bit of an idea of vibes, but let's just get straight into it. So our first few books are already out. The first one came out on the 7th of January, and that is Adrift in Currents Clean and Clear, which is the next instalment in the Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire. I have only read the first book in this series, but I did enjoy it and I am excited to continue on with the series. Next is another one that came out on the 7th, and that is Beg, Borrow or Steal by Sarah Adams. This is the third book in the When in Rome series. I've read When in Rome and I really enjoyed it. It was my first Sarah Adams and it made me really excited to try out her other stuff. And so I am hoping to get to the next book in the series this year, and hopefully even Beg, Borrow and Steal. The next book isn't out as of filming this video, but will be out when I release it. Came out on the 14th of January, and that is Accidentally Amy by Lynn Painter. Now, I've only read Lynn Painter's YA, so I don't know how her writing fares in adult romance, but the plot of this sounds quite interesting. So the main character is running late to her first day at a new job, and she's at a coffee shop and the order's taking for ages, and the name Amy is called out multiple times and no one claims it, so she claims the coffee instead. It's the same thing that she ordered. She has a bit of a meet cute in this coffee shop, and this guy thinks that she is called Amy, and when she gets to her new job she finds out that the guy she met at the coffee shop is actually the vice president of the company she's working for, and he does not find her explanation funny at all, and where he was cute and charming at the coffee shop, he's quite grumpy at work, so sounds right up my alley. Also on the 14th we have The Secret History of the Rape Kit by Pagan Kennedy. This is a non-fiction about, as the title would suggest, how the rape kit was developed. And when I was reading the description, I didn't read too much into it because I just find the idea fascinating anyway, but it did mention that the woman who created it sort of faded into the background and let a man take credit for her invention and all this, so it sounds like it's going to be a really interesting and insightful read. Okay, that is it for all the books that are already out as of this video uploading, if I upload it on time. The next one comes out tomorrow for you guys if you're watching this on release day, the 16th of January, and that is The Baby Dragon Cafe by A.T. Qureshi. Now, I do have an arc of this I just got approved for on NetGalley, but I've also pre-ordered it, so I'm probably just gonna wait now to read it because I've got a lot of things I need to be reading this month. All I really know is this is like cozy fantasy romance, and it's a cafe that like is run by dragons pretty much. Like there is a human owner, but I think all like the staff are dragons. I don't really know, it just sounds cute and I don't really need to know anything else apart from dragons and cute cozy fantasy, possibly with a bit of romance. Then on the 21st of January we have Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is the third instalment in the Fourth Wing series. I've not read Fourth Wing or Iron Flame, but I am excited to get to it. I'm definitely trying to enter my romantasy era this year, and so Fourth Wing is a series I want to get to this year. On the 28th of January we have Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. I haven't read any of her books yet, but I do have, I don't know if it's all of them, I have 3 of her books, I'm very excited to get to them all. They all sound really interesting, really different, and Out of the Woods is just another one that I'm excited to get to. And The Works is doing a really pretty sprayed edge, so I shall be going and getting that one when it releases. Also on the 28th we have Spiral by Bal Cabra. This is the sequel to Collide, which is a hockey romance. I haven't read that one yet, but I am excited to get to it. I have vague plans to get to it in February, and again, The Works is doing a really pretty sprayed edge of this book, so I'm planning on getting that one. But yeah, I've heard good things about the series, so I'm excited to get to it. Again on the 28th of January we have Once Smitten Twice Shy by Chloe Leese. This is the author of the Bergman Brothers series up here, which I've only read the first book of. I also have the first book in this series, which is Two Wrongs Make a Right, and I'm just excited to get to this series. I know quite a few people who are big fans of this author, and I enjoyed the first Bergman Brothers book, so it's just another series that I'm excited to get to. And our last release for the 28th of January is The Crash by Freida McFadden. Now, I haven't read any Freida McFadden yet, but I do think she's going to be a thriller author for me. I do enjoy sort of quick popcorn, head empty thrillers. I enjoy more thought out, more like heavier thrillers as well, but there is a space for both, and so I do think Freida McFadden could be an author for me, and this one sounds quite interesting. So we have a pregnant main character who gets stuck in a blizzard and her car dies, I think like the battery drains or something, or she runs out of petrol, and she's got a broken ankle as well. This couple offers for her to come and stay in their cabin to wait out the blizzard, but she soon realises maybe she was safer in her car than in the cabin. On the 30th of January we have Into the Woods by Jenny Holiday. So this follows two camp counsellors, or camp staff because they're adults, I don't know if there's a difference, two summer camp staff. She is a permanent member of staff at this camp, like she's worked there for years, and she is a dance teacher, and he is from a big boy band, and the band has just broken up because one of the members has decided to go solo, and so he sees working at this summer camp as a chance to step away from it all and escape and sort of reassess his life, and they rub each other the wrong way from the get-go. He assumes that she's a fan, and she thinks he's very stuck up and full of himself. So it sounds right up my alley. I love celebrity romances. I love when performing arts are just included in general, because I am a lover of the performing arts myself, and yeah, I'm just quite excited. And I love a summer camp romance as well, so it's got all the ingredients. Hopefully it will be a good one. And last for January is also on the 30th, and that is Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. This is the same author as Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and I forgot the name of her other one, I think Not Another Missing Person or something like that. I haven't read either of them. I've heard amazing things about particularly Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and I do have that one, but this sounds so up my alley. I think this is a synopsis that interests me the most out of her books. So we have our main character who is about to return to work from maternity leave, but she wakes up one morning and in her husband's place is a letter. It is soon discovered, there's breaking news, that there is a hostage situation going on in London, and the police tell her that her husband is involved, but she quickly finds out he's not a hostage, he's the gunman. On the 4th of February we have two books coming out. So the first one is Dream Girl Drama by Tessa Bailey. This is the third book in the I think it's called Big Shots series. You've got Fangirl Down and then The Au Pair Affair. This is definitely one that I'll be waiting to either hear reviews or at least until I've got through maybe the first two books in the series to get to, just because I've heard a lot of mixed things in recent years with Tessa Bailey. I loved Hook, Line and Sinker and kind of bought a lot of her backlist because I want to read more of her work. But since then I have heard a lot of people sort of have mixed feelings on her books, and not just people who maybe Tessa Bailey isn't for them, but people who used to love her work as well. So I am a bit more cautious going into other books by her. I have heard good things about this series as well as bad things, and I know someone who's read the arc of Dream Girl Drama and loved it, but I will just be waiting until I've actually got through at least the first book in the series to get this, just in case. The other book releasing on the 4th of February is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I will eat this up. All I know about this is it's got swimmers and it was originally going to be called Wet. I don't need to know anything else. I will eat up anything Ali Hazelwood writes. I wouldn't have even needed to hear those two details to know that I was going to buy this. It's already pre-ordered. Even if it wasn't Ali, I love a sports romance, so I cannot wait, I cannot wait. Next, on the 11th of February, we have Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. This is the third book in the Butcher and Blackbird series. Again, I am not going to buy this until I have at least read Butcher and Blackbird. I have a problem with buying entire series before I've even started it, but I do really think this series is going to be for me, so I am excited for the rest of the series to be coming out. Next, on the 13th of February, we have First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. So in this, our male main character is a romance hotline host, and he gets a call from a little girl asking for advice for her mum, or like something along those lines, and that is our female main character. I love the idea of a romance hotline host. That was something that really excited me about The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon, and it didn't quite hit. So I'm hoping that this gives me a bit of what I was looking for in that book. I've also now read my first B.K. Borison and I did quite enjoy her writing style, so I am definitely excited for this one. Also on the 13th of February we have The Really Dead Wives of New Jersey by Astrid Dahl. Now I don't really know much about this apart from it sounds kind of like Housewives meets campy thriller book, and that's all I really need to know. Like, as long as it doesn't take itself too seriously, I think this could be a great fun time. I don't think it's going to be top tier out of this world writing, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Also on the 13th we have You Are Fatally Invited by Andy Pelego. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So in this one, a famous thriller author gets his assistant to organise a little thriller retreat for thriller authors. It's all on a private island, and she goes along with it because she actually has issues with one of the attendees, so she wants to plan her own murder. But before she can do that, one of the other authors is found dead. It's kind of locked room but on an island thriller, but all our possible suspects are thriller authors, and so they know how to conceal things, they know how to navigate these kinds of situations, so it sounds very exciting. Next, on the 18th of February we have I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com by Kimberly Lemming. This is by the same author who did the I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon series that I've heard amazing things about. This one just sounds so fun, so exciting, and when I was reading the synopsis there seemed to be some like Wizard of Oz references. Yeah, so it's like Dory and her new lion bestie Toto are saved in the nick of time by a mysterious and sexy alien. I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it, but I feel like having someone called Dory, someone called Toto, there being a lion involved, like, you can't do that combination and not have those connotations. Again, on the 18th of February we have Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. This is the sequel to Crimson Moth, which again I have not read yet, but I'm so excited to get to. I've heard so many amazing things about it, and like I said, I'm entering my romantic era this year, so that's another series I'm really excited to get to. On the 27th of February we have Give Me Butterflies by Gillian Meadows. This follows two museum curators. It's a STEM romance. Definitely sounds like something that Ali Hazelwood fans would enjoy. And she is up for a promotion and he is on the interview committee hiring board for that promotion. I don't think they get along. Sounds right up my alley. Also on the 27th we have Our Infinite Fates by Lauren Stephen. Now this one of my best friends absolutely loved. She read the arc of it, absolutely loved it, was literally telling me that everyone needs to read this book. All I really know about it is that it's fated mates who are constantly reincarnating. I don't really know anything else about it, but I have pre-ordered both the US edition and the Waterstones exclusive because they're both stunning. Okay, our first book for March is coming out on the 4th of March, and that is Wild Side by Elsie Silver. It's the third book in the Rose Hill series. Again, I haven't started this series, but I do love Chestnut Springs. I just want to finish Chestnut Springs before I start both of her other series. But I am so excited to get to the rest of Elsie Silver's books. She's quite possibly one of my favourite other authors. She's the reason I got into cowboy romance. Love it, can't wait. Next, also on the 4th of March, we have Scott Unbothered by Alexandra Kiley. This follows an aspiring author who is currently a ghostwriter who is vying for the position of co-writer for her mentor's memoir, and her mentor has asked her to go on like a hike around Scotland for like authenticity. Along for the ride is this mentor's nephew, who is also a female main character's ex, I think, from the vibes of the synopsis, and he is a nature photographer, and his aunt has asked him to accompany her on this trip. Again, on the 4th of March, we have Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bass-Stone. This one is blurbed by Abby Jimenez, and to be honest, that was a great reason for it to go straight onto my anticipated releases list. But it follows a female main character who has recently lost her best friend, and our male main character is the uncle of the child our female main character is babysitting, and she has sort of a live again list, I think, which is like things she wants, like I think she's sort of got into a bit of a depression because of losing her best friend, and this is a list of things she wants to do to start enjoying life again. Maybe it's a bit of a realisation of life's so short, we need to do the things we want to do kind of thing, and I assume he's going to help her. Next, on the 4th of March, we have Ward D by Freida McFadden. Like I mentioned before, Freida McFadden I do feel like is an author that is going to be for me, and this one follows someone who works on a psychiatry ward, I think within a bigger hospital. I don't think it's like just a sanatorium. Is that the word for that type of hospital? I think so. I think it is just a psychiatric ward within a typical hospital, but patients and staff start going missing and the main character has to sort of figure out what's going on and face her past, and that's kind of all I know about it. Next, on the 11th of March, we have The Story of My Life by Lucy Score. Lucy Score is an author I've heard amazing things about but haven't gotten around to yet. This one does sound really interesting. It follows a writer who is struggling to meet her deadline, and she's come to this small town to sort of live in this type of town that she writes about, I think, and we've got a grumpy contractor. So, small town, grumpy sunshine, author I've heard amazing things about. Can't wait. Again, on the 11th of March, we have How to Survive a Slasher by Justine Picella-Winans. And this is a YA, so it's definitely one that I will be waiting to hear reviews on. But in the synopsis, it's described as Scream meets You Aren't Supposed to Die Tonight, and I absolutely love the Scream series. But we have our main character lives in a town that I don't know if it's actually called Slasherville or if it's nicknamed Slasherville, and that's because they've had 2 massacres in the past that have had books written about them, and our main character gets a book sent to them in the post that is about another slasher in this town that hasn't yet happened. Apologies if the lighting or angle has changed at all. My camera battery died and so it is now the next day. I think the last thing I mentioned is that a book arrives on our main character's doorstep predicting a massacre that hasn't yet happened, so they have to try and stop this massacre from happening. Next, on the 13th of March, we have The Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Laurie Gilmore. This is the 4th book in the Dream Harbour series. I don't really know anything about it. It's the next one I need to read to carry on with the series. Also on the 13th of March, we have Recommended Reading by Paul Kotchia. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Again, this one is a YA, so I will be waiting to hear other reviews on it, but it does sound super cute. So it's a YA gay romance between someone who works in a bookshop and a lifeguard, and just the cover art and the description that I read on Goodreads just makes it sound like it could be a really adorable romance, but like I say, with it being YA, I will be waiting for other reviews. On the 18th of March, we've got The Haunting of Room 904 by Erica T. Worth. So this follows a girl who can communicate with the dead now that her sister who had that gift has passed on, like the gift transferred, I think. And because of that, she has become sort of quite a popular paranormal investigator, and this hotel hires her to figure out what's going on with this room where every few years a girl is always found dead in there. It doesn't matter what room that person booked, they are always found dead in room 904. Also on the 18th of March, we have Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This is obviously the second prequel for the Hunger Games series. I haven't actually read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes yet, but I am so excited, and I'm more excited for this one because it's Haymitch's story, and that's all I need to know. Again, on the 18th of March, we have Serial Killer Support Group by Saratoga Schaefer. This one follows a girl whose sister was murdered, and she infiltrates a serial killer support group by pretending to be one of them to sort of get to the bottom of what happened to her sister, or to seek revenge or something. I'm not quite sure, but it sounds very interesting. Once again, on the 18th of March, we have Fake It Like You Mean It by Megan Murphy. This one is sort of enemies or rivals to lovers. My favourite trope. So in this one, our main character moves back home to take care of her grandmother who is living with Alzheimer's, but she also has a live-in nurse, and they rub each other the wrong way straight away. They do not get on, but because of the grandmother's Alzheimer's, she mistakenly believes that they are madly in love, and they decide to play along with it just to make her happy. Next, we have In the Company of Killers by Alora Cook. This comes out on the 20th of March, and this one I'm really up in arms about because the synopsis sounds amazing if it was an adult book, but it's YA. And I'm really having trouble conflating those two things in my brain because the synopsis just really sounds like a great adult book. We've got a mafia heiress and the only person she doesn't get on with at school is the son of a rival family, but I think that is in the past. And then modern day, she can't be that much older because I assume she's still in school if it's YA, but modern day her father and sister, I think, are killed by a new mafia family, and she actually teams up with this boy that she used to never get on with to help avenge her family. So, like I say, sounds like it'd be a great storyline if it was an adult book. I don't know. I just feel like I'm scared the stakes aren't gonna be there and it's gonna feel a bit cringe as YA. So again, it is one that I'm gonna be waiting for reviews for, but it does sound really interesting at the same time, so that's why it's still on this list. Also on the 20th of March we have To You at the Altar by Rebecca Thorne. Once again, this is the third book in a series that I have not started. But I do have this book pre-ordered because I have the Waterstone special editions of the first two books, so I need to keep it going. I really need to start this series because, one, if I start it soon and I don't like it, I can cancel my pre-order. But two, I can't keep buying the next series in this book having not read this first book, so I need to get to this one soon. But it does sound right up my alley. It's like cozy fantasy atmosphere, but like medium stakes is what I've heard. Pirates are involved, I know that. It sounds like a fun time. Our next book comes out on the 25th of March, and that is This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. I actually do have an ARC of this from NetGalley, so I'm hoping to get to this before it comes out, but all I really know is that our main character is investigating a local murder, and there starts to be clues and connections relating to a more famous murder, and again, I don't really need to know more than that to pull me in. On the 27th of March we have 9 Month Contract by Amy Dawes. This is like a small town romance. Our male main character wants to be a single father, and so I don't know if it's his friends or his family decides to put up an ad for a surrogate. Our female main character takes him up on that offer. It's Grumpy Sunshine, age gap, small town. Sounds great. On the 28th of March we have How to Seal Your Own Fate by Kristen Perrin. This is the sequel to How to Solve Your Own Murder, and that is a book that I'm really excited to get to. I've not pre-ordered the sequel because I'm being good, but it is one that I'm excited for. Okay, so our first book for April, on the 1st of April, is Say You'll Remember Me by the Queen, Abby Jimenez. I do not know a single thing about this book, but I will eat it up because I love Abby Jimenez. Yes, I've only read 2 of her books, but they're 2 books from 2 different series. I love them both. I cannot wait to complete both series. Another person who I will eat up anything she writes. She could write a shopping list and I'd be there. Also on the 1st of April we have The Last Session by Julia Bartz. This is the author of The Writing Retreat, which I've heard amazing things about. I haven't got to yet, of course, but this one does sound really interesting. So we've got a mental health professional, I think maybe a social worker, I'm not sure, works in that realm, who infiltrates a wellness centre in Mexico, and there's situations of like dredging up her own past and her own history, being forced to confront that, and it's locked room. Don't really know much else. Pretty sure like she has a patient who she realises connections to, but that patient went to this wellness retreat in Mexico and that's why she's gone to infiltrate to find out what's going on. I'm not sure, but it sounds amazing. On the 3rd of April we have The Broposal by Sonora Reyes. So this is a male-male romance following 2 best friends. So one of the characters is stuck in a soulless relationship and his girlfriend sort of pushes him to leave his best friend behind and separate himself. She tries to make him choose between her and his best friend, and that's the point that he realises this relationship cannot go on. At the same time, our other main character finds himself in a situation where he's facing deportation because he's just lost his job, which was supporting his work visa, and so the first guy proposes to the second guy in order for him to be able to stay in the country, and obviously they're going to start realising that they have more than friendship feelings for each other. On the 8th of April we have I Love You Snort by Aurane Desombre. I really do hope I'm pronouncing that right. And this again is a YA one, so I will be waiting for reviews. But this is a sapphic romance following two camp counsellors. One of the girls has just had a really public breakup. I think her ex is like a singer or an actress on like a teen show or something, and she had a really public breakup. She wants to get away from it, and it's enemies to lovers. On the 10th of April we have the second Vera Wong book, which is Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man by Jessie Q Santanto. Again, I have not started this series, but I do think it will be for me. I have heard mixed things though, so I will not be buying this book until I've read the first. Also on the 10th of April we have Any Trope But You by Victoria Levine. This follows a best-selling romance author, but she herself doesn't actually believe in happily ever afters. She always writes alternate endings in a separate document that obviously doesn't get published because happy endings is what sells in romance, but this document gets leaked and it causes a lot of backlash obviously. So she runs away to Alaska to sort of reinvent herself, try and find herself and try and write her first mystery novel. Our love interest actually works at the resort. It's his family's resort and he's returned to help, I don't know whether it's just to help family or if there's a sick relative involved. I assume it's Grumpy Sunshine. These sort of small town dynamics always are, with the person from the small town being grumpy, not wanting to let the city girl in. Once again on the 10th of April we have Burn After Reading by Catherine Ryan Howard. In this one a cyclist's wife dies in a fire, and at first everyone is very sympathetic to him until it is revealed that she was already dead when the fire started, and everyone quickly assumes it's him. So our main character is a ghostwriter who agrees to write his story with him, but the story is not what she expected it to be, and I think she gets a lot of hate as well for people seem to think she is assisting him in hiding the truth by being part of writing this story. On the 15th of April we have the fourth book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series by Lila Sage. This is Wild and Wrangled. Now I've only read the first book in this series. I think I gave it a 3-star. It was just okay, but I did see potential, and everyone that's read multiple books in the series tells me that each book gets better, so I am excited to continue the series. And I love a cowboy romance, so even if it is a solid 3-star series, I'm happy. Also on the 15th of April we have Murder by Cheesecake by Rachel Ekstrom Courage. This, I am slightly confused because its subtitle is that it's a Golden Girls mystery. I don't watch the Golden Girls, so I don't know any of the characters' names, but looking at the reviews that are obviously before it's out, so it's people talking about being excited for it, it does sound like it's meant to be the characters from the Golden Girls, but I'm not sure. I've never watched it, I don't know. Either way, it just sounds like a fun, cosy mystery. So we've got 4 women, and one of their, I think, nieces is getting married and they're in charge of planning the wedding. On the day of the wedding, one of the girls' dates is found dead face down in the cheesecake, and they have to hide the body but also figure out what's going on before it ruins the wedding. On the 22nd of April we have Anywhere You Go by Bridget Morrissey. This is described as The Holiday meets The Switch. So this is a sapphic romance, and we have a small town waitress and a big city agent who swap homes. Don't know why. And they both fall in love with people whilst they are in each other's homes. Like I say, it's described as The Holiday meets The Switch. I don't know anything else about it. On the 24th of April we have The Shots You Take by Rachel Reed. This one, all I need to know is that it's hockey, male-male romance, ex-teammates, ex-best friends with benefits. Do I need to tell you anymore? Also on the 24th of April we have Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. This is the 5th book in the Windy City series. Once again, a series that I've only read the first book in, but I'm so excited to continue on with it, and I do want to complete the series this year, or like get up to date. I don't know if there's going to be more after this book. I want to catch up this year. I'm so excited to get through the rest of the series. Also on the 24th of April we have another queen, and that is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I know nothing about this book, but every Emily Henry I've read has been 4 stars or above, so I'm excited for it. I do really prefer the US cover for this one, so it's probably going to be a while before I read it because I want the US edition, but I also will want paperback. I might read it on Kindle first, but I do still have 2 more Emily Henrys to get through, so it's not the end of the world if I have to wait for it, but I'm still excited for it either way. On the 6th of May we have Murderland by Carlin Greenwald. Once again, it's a YA, and so we'll be waiting for reviews, but it does sound really interesting. So our main character works at a theme park and she's just been promoted to be a ride-up for this new ride that's supposed to be amazing. It's a brand new ride. She and some co-workers are in the theme park after hours, and one of them dies whilst riding the ride, but they weren't meant to be operating it in the first place, and so they have to figure out what they're going to do about the situation, but lots of weird things seem to be happening. When this person first dies, it looks like they just had a heart attack whilst on the ride. She goes, I think, to get help, but when she comes back it looks like he broke his neck, and lots of weird things like that start happening, and I think more people start dying as well. So it's sort of a race against time to figure out what's going on, but also how to get out of this situation. On the 13th of May we have A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. This is the sequel to A Fate Inked in Blood, which is actually going to be my next read. All I really know about this, I've not even properly read the synopsis because I'm picking it up next anyway regardless. I just know that it's a romantasy and I think it's based on Norse mythology. I'm very excited for this. I have this pre-ordered because I pre-ordered the Waterstone Special Edition. Obviously if I don't like this, I'm reading it now so I will know whether I like it or not to be able to cancel the pre-order if necessary. But I do think I'm really going to enjoy it, hence the fact that I pre-ordered the special edition. Also releasing on the 13th of May we have Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. This is the third book in the Lakefront Billionaire series, which is the only Lauren Asher series I haven't started. I've read the entirety of the Dirty Air series, I've read all of the Dreamland Billionaire series, so it is just this one that I need to get to. I have the first two books, I've just not started it, but I love Lauren Asher's writing, so I'm very excited for this one. Once again on the 13th of May we have Dream on Ramona Riley by Ashley Herring Blake. Obviously with this being Ashley Herring Blake, it is a sapphic romance. So we have Ramona, who is a small town waitress, but she's always dreamed of being a costume designer, and a Hollywood film is coming to her town to film, and she sees this as her chance to try and get her foot in the door with the industry. And it turns out that the lead actress of the film was actually Ramona's first kiss. But at first this actress doesn't actually realise that it's Ramona. On the 20th of May we have Left of Forever by Tara DeWitt. This is the same author as Savour It, I think. I've heard lots of good things about this book. This one is second chance and they go on a road trip together. Our female main character owns a bakery, our male main character is a firefighter, and he is also a divorced single dad. I love firefighters in my stories. The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, he was a firefighter. I love watching firefighter shows. Don't know what it is about it, I just really enjoy it, so that is probably one of the main reasons I'm excited for this book. On the 22nd of May we have Ride With Me by Simone Sultani. This is the sequel to Across the Line, which I was so excited for when it came out. I still haven't got to it, but I do love an F1 romance, and so I'm excited to finally get to that one and then to continue the series. On the 29th of May we have And They Were Roommates by Paige Powers. This, once again, is YA, so once again I will be waiting for reviews. I don't know why I keep on saying that. I feel like you guys know at this point. This follows Charlie, who is moving to an all-boys boarding school, and he's hoping to keep the fact that he is the only transgender student a secret, but things get a bit complicated on that front when he realises that his roommate is actually the boy who broke his heart a year before he transitioned. But the roommate doesn't actually recognise Charlie. On the 3rd of June we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. All I know about this is that it's 1980s space shuttle program. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing. The only book of hers I've got left from what I would sort of call her like core books, like the ones that got really popular, because she has a lot of romances that she wrote before, like Seven Husbands and all that. The only one of those main books I've not read yet is Daisy Jones and the Six, and I feel like I'm savouring it. I love her writing, even though I'm not a big lit fic girly, so I am very excited for this one to come out. Although again, this is one where I prefer the US cover, and you may disagree with me because it's a person on the cover. I just prefer it, okay? On the 5th of June we have A Box Full of Murders by Janice Hallett. This is Janice Hallett's middle grade debut, so we'll see how it turns out. I haven't read any of her work, but I do own a couple. I'm very excited to get to all of them. I have heard mixed things, but I love a mixed media book, and so I think her books are going to be right up my alley. We'll just see how that translates to middle grade as well. Also on the 5th of June we have Never Been Shipped by Alicia Thompson. This is the same author as Loving the Time of Serial Killers, I think it's called, which I read and I really enjoyed that. And this one follows a band that broke up years ago and they're reuniting on a ship. I think it's a cruise ship, not sure, probably a cruise ship. None of the bandmates have actually spoken to each other since the band broke up, but our male main character actually always was interested in our female main character. He just never said anything because she was actually dating another one of the bandmates. So it sounds like there's going to be lots of drama, you know, they're all on the ship together. We've got an ex and the person who I'm assuming is the all of interest of the book, I'm assuming she's not getting back with the ex. So it sounds like I'm gonna eat it up. Another book releasing on the 5th of June is The Book Club for Troublesome Women by Marie Bostwick. This one I'm not fully sure on. I will be waiting to hear reviews again. What I'm getting from this one is that it's a group of women in the 60s who are unhappy with their lives and they form a book club together. I think the book that they read is The Feminine Mystique, and it makes them realise that actually a lot of the thoughts and feelings they're having, a lot of other women are having as well. So I do think it's got potential to be really good, but I'm just also really not sure. The title is what really drew me in. On the 10th of June we have Winging It With You by Chip Pons. So this is another male-male romance. Our main character arrives at the airport. He's about to go on a reality show with his boyfriend that I think is kind of similar to Race Across the World. I think that's the type of game, I think that's the type of reality show it is. But his boyfriend actually dumps him at the airport. So he actually ends up fake dating a pilot that he meets at the airport, because on this reality show you have to go on in pairs, and he has said that he's going on with his boyfriend, so he needs someone to fill that position for him. Another book coming out on the 10th of June is Backhanded Compliments by Katie Chandler. This one is Sapphic Tennis Rivals, and that's all you really need to tell me. But on top of that, I do think it's got a fantastical element. In the synopsis it says when they shake hands the name of the other person appears on their wrist, and it's described as like, this can't be happening, this can't be my soulmate. So I think it's kind of like one of those AUs that people used to post all over the place, where the first time I guess you touch your soulmate in this universe, their name appears somewhere on you, or specifically on your wrist. So that's an interesting element as well, but honestly you have me at Sapphic Tennis Rivals. Also coming out on the 10th of June is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. All I know about this, I know nothing about this, but there was one Instagram post where like in the caption she mentioned lesbian vampires, and I don't need to know anything else. Sign me up. And finally we are at the final book that I'm going to be talking about in this video, and that is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston, which releases on the 17th of June. Now the only Ashley Poston I have actually read is Kikarella, back when that was all over BookTube. I haven't read any of her adult stuff, but I've heard amazing things about The 7 Year Slip and I'm really excited to get to it. All of her romances seem to have a fantastical element to it, and in this one we are following a songwriter, and I think she's having a bit of like writer's block. She's really struggling, but she keeps on hearing this melody in her head, and then she hears the voice that she's been hearing this melody in the head from in real life, and the person whose voice that is has just come into town. So that is it for all of my January through June 2025 anticipated releases. Please do let me know down in the comments what your most anticipated release of the first half of the year is, or of the year as a whole. Is there anything that I've missed that you feel like I should have been excited about? I want to hear it all. If you got this far into the video, then leave the music note emoji for Sounds Like Love, and if you're interested in following my Bookstagram, that is always linked down below, as along with all my other socials, Goodreads, Storygraph, my normal Instagram. If I have it, it's linked down below. If you did enjoy this video, it would be much appreciated if you gave it a like and subscribed if you want to see more content from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!